Have you ever wondered how criminals hide their illegal cash? It's a complex and secretive process that involves many steps and players. This process is known as money laundering, a major issue that affects economies worldwide. Criminals use various methods to disguise the origins of their illicit funds. Terrorists need money too, and stopping them from getting it is called counter-terrorist financing, or CTF. This is crucial for national and global security. South Africa is serious about fighting both money laundering and terrorist financing. The country has implemented stringent measures to combat these threats. This video will explain how these measures work and their importance. We'll delve into the laws, regulations, and the dedicated professionals who work tirelessly to enforce them. We'll look at the laws and the people working hard to keep our financial system clean. These individuals play a critical role in identifying and preventing illegal financial activities. Money laundering is like putting dirty money through a wash cycle. Criminals try to make it look like the money came from legal activities, which is a complex and deceptive process. Criminals try to make it look like the money came from legal activities. This is bad news because it undermines the integrity of our financial systems. It hurts businesses, funds more crime, and makes it harder for good people to succeed. Legitimate businesses suffer financial losses, and the overall economy takes a hit. This essay will shed light on the ongoing fight against dirty money and the efforts to create a safer, more transparent financial environment for everyone. In South Africa, we have a special agency called the Financial Intelligence Center, or FIC. Think of it like a financial detective agency. They work to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. The FIC Act of 2001 created this agency. The FIC collects information about suspicious financial transactions. They analyze this information carefully. If they find something fishy, they report it to the police or other law enforcement agencies. This helps catch criminals and stop terrorism. Fighting dirty money isn't just a South African problem. It's a challenge that every country faces, regardless of its size or economic status. Money laundering and terrorist financing are issues that can destabilize economies and threaten global security. It's a global problem that needs a global solution. Countries around the world must work together to tackle these issues effectively. No single nation can combat these threats alone. That's where the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, comes in. Established in 1989, the FATF sets international standards to prevent these financial crimes and promotes the effective implementation of legal, regulatory, and operational measures. The FATF is like an international club of countries. It currently has 39 members, including major financial centers and regional organizations. These members work together to develop policies to protect the global financial system. They work together to stop money laundering and terrorist financing. By sharing information and best practices, they help each other strengthen their financial systems and close loopholes that criminals exploit. The FATF has 40 recommendations. These recommendations are comprehensive guidelines that cover various aspects of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing measures. These are like rules that countries agree to follow. They include measures such as criminalizing money laundering, freezing and confiscating assets, and enhancing the transparency of financial institutions. The rules are about things like knowing your customer and reporting suspicious transactions. Financial institutions are required to verify the identity of their customers and monitor their transactions for any unusual or suspicious activity. South Africa is a proud member of FATF. We actively participate in FATF meetings and contribute to the development of global standards. We follow the 40 recommendations to make our financial system strong and safe. By implementing these guidelines, we help protect our economy from the threats of money laundering and terrorist financing, ensuring a secure financial environment for all. Money laundering isn't a one-step process. It's a complex and multi-layered operation designed to make illegally obtained money appear legitimate. It usually involves 3 distinct stages: placement, layering, and integration. Each stage plays a crucial role in disguising the origins of the money. Placement is the first stage, where the dirty money is introduced into the financial system. This is like hiding the money in plain sight. Criminals might break up large amounts of cash and deposit it in small amounts at different banks to avoid detection. This process is often called smurfing. Layering is the next stage, and it's all about making the money harder to trace. This is where the real complexity begins. It involves a series of financial transactions designed to obscure the money's origins. The goal is to make it difficult for authorities to follow the money trail. Imagine transferring money between different accounts, countries, and even using shell companies. These shell companies often exist only on paper and have no real business operations. The aim is to create a confusing web of transactions that can be nearly impossible to untangle. This web makes it challenging for investigators to trace the money back to its criminal origins. Finally, integration is the stage where the laundered money is reintroduced into the legitimate economy. This is the end game for money launderers. This might involve buying expensive assets like property, businesses, or luxury items. These purchases help to further disguise the money's illicit origins. By this stage, the money appears to come from legal sources, making it hard to trace back to its criminal origins. The laundered money can now be used freely without raising suspicion. Financial institutions and regulatory bodies are constantly working to detect and prevent money laundering. They use sophisticated software and techniques to identify suspicious activities. Here we see various steps taken to create a confusing web of transactions. A legitimate financial transaction follows a straightforward path. As seen here, a money laundering scheme shows a convoluted series of steps designed to hide the money's origins. International cooperation is also crucial in combating money laundering. Countries around the world share information and work together to track down and stop these illegal activities. Public awareness is another important factor. By understanding how money laundering works, individuals and businesses can be more vigilant and help in the fight against this global issue. Together, we can unmask the stages of laundering and protect our financial systems from being exploited by criminals. Section 5. Funding terror, a different beast with the same goal. Terrorist financing is about getting money to support terrorist activities. It's different from money laundering because the money doesn't necessarily come from illegal activities. Terrorists might raise funds through legal means, like charities, but then use the money for violent purposes. Terrorist financing can involve small amounts of money or large, complex transactions. It often crosses borders, making it even harder to track. The goal is the same: to stop the flow of money that supports violence and terror. Section 6. South Africa's Battle Plan. The FIC Act Explained. South Africa is serious about fighting financial crime. That's why we have the Financial Intelligence Center Act, or FIC Act. This law tells us how to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. It requires certain businesses and professions to follow strict rules. These businesses and professions are called accountable institutions. They include banks, lawyers, accountants, and estate agents. The FIC Act requires them to know their customers, keep records, and report suspicious transactions to the FIC. Section 7. Know your customer, know your risk. The importance of due diligence. One of the most important things the FIC Act requires is know your customer, or KYC. This means that accountable institutions need to verify the identity of their customers. They need to understand their customers' business activities and assess the risk of money laundering or terrorist financing. It's not enough just to get someone's name and address. Accountable institutions need to do their homework. They need to ask questions, check documents, and understand where their customers' money is coming from. Section 8. Red flags and reporting. Staying ahead of financial crime. The FIC Act also requires accountable institutions to report suspicious transactions to the FIC. These are transactions that seem out of place or don't make sense. The FIC Act provides guidance on what to look for. For example, a suspicious transaction might be a large cash deposit from a customer who normally deals in small amounts. Or it could be a series of complex transactions that seem designed to hide the source of funds. Section 9. The price of non-compliance. Penalties and reputational damage. The FIC Act has serious teeth. Accountable institutions that don't follow the rules can face hefty fines and penalties. Individuals involved in money laundering or terrorist financing can go to jail. But it's not just about the legal consequences. Businesses that don't comply with the FIC Act can also suffer reputational damage. Customers might not want to do business with a company that has a poor track record on AML CTF compliance. Section 10. A safer world, a stronger economy. The benefits of AML CTF compliance. Fighting money laundering and terrorist financing is everyone's responsibility. By following the rules and working together, we can make South Africa a safer and more prosperous place to live. When we stop criminals from laundering their dirty money, we prevent them from profiting from their crimes. This makes it harder for them to fund further criminal activities. And when we cut off the flow of money to terrorists, we help to prevent acts of violence and save lives. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Together, we can spread awareness and make a difference.